chick. What ain't? Look at shorty right. What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? What ain't? That's a bad chick. What ain't? Look at shorty right.
Welcome to Full Circle, your source of health, business, and entertainment. And today we're going to start off talking about a great, great man. And when I say great, I mean great. I want to start off talking about the founder of Dove Productions. Did I say that right? Dove Productions.
Dove Productions.
Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up.
We let it go.
However, I want to introduce my special guest today, who can best talk about this great man that I want to start off with. May he continue to rest in peace, Fletcher Weatherspoon. And I want to introduce his sons, the owners of Dove Productions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for having us.
Why do I keep wanting to say Dove?
You can say that right there.
Why do you keep wanting to say Dove Productions? Oh my God. I want to welcome you all.
Thank you.
Okay, so this great man that I'm talking about, you all's father.
Yes.
May he continue to rest in peace. I want to say that again. I know it's been pretty hard. It's been just about a year, right?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, since you all lost your father. But I want to talk about how you all got started, how he got started with Dove.
Dove.
Yes. Don't beat me up with Dove Productions.
Great.
Ron?
Well, I'll let Darren do the starter since he's the oldest. He can start off.
Well,
look, he was looking that way too, right? Okay.
Well, he actually started, back in the day in the 50s, when they were in Chicago, we had a lot of social clubs. And he was a very active member of a number of the different social clubs, the Gents of Society and things of that nature. And so he just, later on, kind of figured out that this is something that, one, he had a great knack for doing, and two, he loved doing it because he loved working with people and throwing parties and working with entertainers, which was the big key for him, was connecting with the local entertainers and the local talent here. So that's how it all kind of started back in the 50s with him, with the social club network that was out and very popular back in the day.
Right. And I heard that. And I say, wow, was they doing social clubbing back in the 50s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's where it started.
Because you have to remember, back in the 50s, black folks didn't have a place to go, because it wasn't, we couldn't just go anywhere we wanted to go. And so we wanted to have our own kind of parties, and who better to throw our own kind of parties than us? And so that's how it all started.
Right. So within starting this social club and going into Dove. You know what? If I say that again, somebody just punch me. Dove Productions. However, getting started with that, I mean, let's talk a little bit about some of the things he actually did once he got started. And I bet you I'm gonna ask you this question, and you're gonna say, oh my God. Where did the name come from? What made him come up with that name?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Actually, Dove Productions started as, it was a record company, believe it or not. And it was a country record label here in Chicago, and my dad bought it. And so that's where our name came from. It was a record company.
Oh, wow.
Amazing when you think that came from.
Okay, so now in between the social club and starting
Dove
Productions. I need to be hit upside the head. Dove Productions.
You got it.
What else did he do in between?
Oh, well, he was into sales too. He was definitely an excellent salesman. He worked at a cars department store for many years. He was a manager there, and and that's really that was his base. And then he promoted shows and parties, and he would always have multiple incomes. And that's pretty much that was his main job starting off. He was into sales heavy.
So I also read a little something about the flamingos.
Yes.
Flamingo.
The flamingos.
The hit record.
What's the hit record?
I only have
eyes for you. Oh, wow.
He dedicates that song to my mom constantly.
Wow. So he was a part of that. How did that?
He was their
manager. He was their first manager.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, he was their first manager. He put that group together in his basement.
Oh,
He used to
wow.
practice in his basement.
So he was just a jack of all trades, huh?
Yeah. But really, the road was a little too much for him, and he had a family. You know, he had 4 boys, and you know, but he was the manager, the first manager of the Flamingos.
So do any of you all remember getting on the road and?
Oh,
No, we went around.
no, we went.
No.
Oh yeah, we still talking about the 50s. No,
Yeah, you're going. I'm not.
right,
even
that's
going
bad.
there.
You were right. Oh, that's somebody just don't want to tell their age. Wow. So now let's go back up to getting started with.
Dove.
Dove Productions.
Look.
You got it.
So how did that actually come about once he started?
Well, in 1973, at that time, a lot of things were changing in the social club scene, and so he at that time decided to venture out on his own. And so in '73, he actually formed Dove Productions Fun and Travel Club. Mm-hmm. That's when it all started, and that's where he did. And from there, he took up and he started he had a number of different events as far as going to Niagara Falls. That was one of the first ones that they did, and a lot of trips. They did a lot of cruises, things of that nature. So that was how
So
it
he
all
brought the
started.
social club people in and
Oh, yeah.
started
All right.
And
doing
expanding
trips
it
and-
from there.
Different type of functions
Yes.
with them.
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah. That gave him his following.
Smart man.
Very.
Smart man.
And
You all
then
should
he-
be proud to be
Yeah, we learned.
been a part of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Excellent. And
Wow.
then he branched off and giving sports events, away football getaway weekends, and he really got big in that too, really big.
And so in the midst of that, he had a car company or something. What else?
Limousine company.
I
Limousine.
look.
Yeah.
I was reading, but I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't.
Limousine. Yeah.
Wow.
And he kind of got us involved in that too. We
So
all
yeah,
kind of.
that's what I want to know. When did you all start kind of stepping in and
Well,
realizing I gotta help my dad?
as soon as we were able to, he pulled us in.
Right, there you go. We had a license. There you go.
Yeah. So in going to the different events, we were always helping behind the scene, helping them, at the front door and collecting money and things like that. So he started us as soon as we were able. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, that was a blessing.
They started us off young, and groomed us through it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about we getting up to how once you all actually started taking over a little bit the actual company.
Well, actually, what we taken over, he had molded already.
Exactly.
It was just up to us to continue the legacy of what he started, in the same quality of what he started. My dad had a motto that he had all the time. He said, "Go first class and stay home," and we try to keep it that way at all times. No matter what the event is, we try to keep it that way.
First class, definitely.
Okay. So when did you all actually start stepping in and taking over?
Well, we had 2010 is when we officially kind of started to migrate and take over the running of the actual business. He was still actively involved up until the very end. So he would give us all of the, critiques of what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong and what we need to do. But 2010 is the time that we actually kind of stepped over. And at that point, his health had started to fail a little bit. So he felt that it was a good time for him to kind of step back.
Well, he was actually involved with a lot of well-known people.
Oh,
absolutely.
I did look into that and seen bits and pieces of that. Let's talk about some of the people that he actually worked with,
Many.
that you all can remember.
Many. Well, I can remember Tyrone Davis, Otis Clay, it's many of them. Chick Rogers, he worked with many artists.
Lattimore,
Yeah.
he worked with a number of the other, I'm drawing a blank right now.
I know it's
So many.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
So, but how was it growing up and you all getting a chance to meet these well-known, or it just wasn't a big deal? Because I know sometimes when you grow up in that, it's just like, oh, what's up?
and he introduced us to some stars too, like Rudy Ray Moore. I know you remember Rudy
Right,
Ray Moore.
right.
That was like one of his best friends, so we grew up around Rudy, you know, so, yeah.
Really?
we knew him. We knew him very well, you know. We used to stay at the house with us, you know.
Yeah, he would come in town and literally we would have to leave out our bedroom and he would sleep in one of our rooms.
Right, literally, he would stay at our house.
He refused to get a hotel room when he was in
That was
Chicago.
cool.
He would stay at the house with us.
That was cool. That was cool. So let's talk a little bit about, because I seen where they had wrote an article about your father in the
Reader.
The Reader.
Yes.
So how was that? I know that must have been exciting for you all too.
Yeah, that was very touching, and it was really great because they did delve into the history of the social clubs, and it wasn't just about him, it was also just about the party scene in Chicago and his impact, you know, because it does mention
here it is right
a lot
here.
of the, it mentions a lot of the people and artists that he worked with back during that time. So that was a historical piece of information for us. A lot of stuff we didn't know because he actually was interviewed and sat down and transcribed a lot of the stuff directly to the reporter at the Reader, and they kept up with us, you know, and so that was really a great thing to see, you know, his legacy being put out there and shared with Chicago like that. So that's something that we have a link on our website that you can read the article in depth, and it's still available. So we really appreciate that. That was very touching and meaningful for us.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yes,
And you know what? I started off and I started talking about your father at the beginning of the show. I want to apologize. We had such a late start today. And I introduced you all, but didn't say your names. And I'm just like, oh, what's up? You didn't say the name all wrong. So let's start from this side. And
I'm Ron Weatherspoon.
I'm Chris Weatherspoon.
And I'm Darren Weatherspoon. And we also have another partner, Warren Weatherspoon, which is our brother, and he is based out of the Maryland, D.C. area.
all right, hey Warren, maybe I get that right. So I want to let's talk a little bit. We talked a little bit about the Reader, and I want to go back to that a little bit later, but I want to talk about your lovely mother.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She is a special woman. You know,
she is.
entertainment and working in this field it takes a special character, because my dad, you know, he had all of the heart for working with people and the artists, and the artists loved him because he really, you know, respected the artists. But, you know, artists are temperamental kind of group, you know, and they're a special breed of people that are, you know, it takes a special person to know and be able to work well with them. But he respected them for their talent, and you know, my mom was always there to support him, to help him to be able to live out his dream, and then likewise help us to be able to understand what we were doing and how we're doing. And to this day, she still guides us and gives us, you know, direction on what people want and what we need to be aware of, because she is the bank of knowledge that you know, of all of his successes and things that weren't so successful, and she shares that with us on a regular basis and lets us know.
It has to be she's a strong woman.
Oh, yes.
Incredible.
She has
Four
to be
boys.
strong.
Four
She's
boys.
raised 4 boys.
Oh my God.
Extremely strong.
She ran a tight ship, and still does.
Still about it.
And you guys seem so close. I love it. I love
She's
it.
always been there for us, and, you know,
Yeah, so
makes sure we stay
I'm
alive.
sure that it's kind of she's been taking it pretty hard being
Yeah.
We all together as a unit on it.
Yeah, we try to keep each other encouraged, but, you know, we all are processing it in our own different ways. But, you know, she's a very strong. She has a very strong spiritual background and belief, and so that's been holding her and taking her through this trial.
All right, Mama. So, besides you all's mother, you all appear to have a pretty huge family as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You all seem so tight, and I love that. I want to applaud you all for that. And I mean, even Chris, your wife, Anita.
Oh, yeah. She's
I
been
love
there.
you.
Hey, Anita. Hey, wife.
I mean, oh my God, she just be working it. She's working it,
yeah.
and she's a part of
Dove
Productions, right?
Productions, exactly.
And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
can
way
tell.
that's the way he wanted it. I mean, he meant this to be a family affair. So we have brought in not just our spouses and our children now are the next generation that we're training, just like he trained us. We've brought in cousins and other family members that will help us to do this, because this is a lot of work, you know. And when you're dealing with people in the public, and you know, he's got some great friends that have been with him through the entire time of Dove Production that have stayed with us, which is a testament to, you know, us being able to work with all generations, and everybody's knowing that, you know, we're trying to do our best, and we're open to the help that we get from everybody that is making Dove Production successful.
Yeah, definitely take suggestions, you know, yes.
Okay, well, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish speaking with Ron, Chris, and Darren from
Dove Production.
All right, we'll be right back.
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8800.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Brown, Clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, and you are now watching Full Circle television show with your host, Queen.
Back to Full Circle, and I have the owners of Dove Productions.
All right.
I had to go slow with that one. However, I want to welcome you all back and thank you all so much for taking time and being patient with us today. I know all the viewers out there, hey y'all, love you. However, before we went to commercial break, we were still talking a little bit about some of the things that you all's father, which is the founder of Dove Productions. Let's talk a little bit more about, we were talking about the family being all organized and together, working together. I want to get into a little bit on how he started some of the entertainers that he had and some of the actual events. Matter of fact, could you all pull up that picture of Fletcher Weatherspoon, please? The second one, and then the picture, we can go from there. Oh, well, these guys, I want the other one, and then we go back to that one. I want to talk about right here. let's talk about this event, because this was a big thing as well, right?
Oh, yeah. This was Mother's Day.
Okay, so this was one of you all's, was this like your father's last Mother's Day event?
Actually, that was the last one he attended.
Mm-hmm. You all look pretty sharp there now.
Hey, like I said, first
is
class.
That you, Ron?
That's me. My dad say go first class and stay at home. So that's how we got to do it.
Okay, so is this something that you all do now with this? I see it's the Mother's Day event.
Yes.
Is this something that you all do on a regular?
Oh, this is every year.
Yeah, it's an annual Mother's
Day.
Yeah, that in particular year we had the Shy Lights doing the show for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, which brings me up to my next question. Let's talk a little bit about what you all actually do.
Okay.
Because I mean, I know you all are all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So
We're trying. We're trying.
okay. So who want to start with what it is you all actually do, from far as taking off with your father's, keeping on with his legacy?
Well, we continue what he started, and as we grow into the future, we try to add to it. Okay, like one of the things is the Mother's Day show that he do annually, that he's been doing all the way from when they used to have on 95th and Western, the Martinique. We used to be there, and we used to pack the place out every year. And he would have different entertainers, from Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes to, like I said, the Shy Lights to Otis Clay to, I mean, Tyrone Davis, numerous. You know, and they would come through there, and it would be a sit-down dinner.
Where's that place again on West?
That was the Martinique on 95th and Western. It's no longer there now.
No longer there now.
Okay.
So I suppose he would be at the Grand Ballroom too, right?
Oh,
Exactly.
You're going
way back.
Now you went back into
before,
the 70s. Yeah, he used to be at the Grand Ballroom back in the day with shows like with Sonny and Pepper, and I mean, I can go so far back on that one. But I was in there at an early age.
Right, because he used different type of entertainers as well. I mean, singers, dancers, and wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when the Grand Ballroom, you know, that's really where we kind of started.
Right.
We got our introduction.
Okay.
In the Grand Ballroom, he used to have regularly a New Year's Eve party. So every New Year's Eve, we'd bring in the New Year with our parents at the Grand Ballroom. We would have an annual Easter event as well. So it was an Easter dance, and that was more of a family event. And so that was one of the few times where we actually did have events that included allowed children to come to. And then we also had a 5th of July or 4th of July event that was a regular event that he had as well. So that was kind of the start of the local parties in town events that we would do. And then, like I mentioned earlier, he then wanted to branch out, and we started to get into more of the travel side of the fence as well. So we do different excursions to New York and Broadway plays, and he would go to Niagara Falls, and then he started doing cruises, and then we started, you know, going to different music festivals and different events within the Midwest. And that's kind of where we started. So our services now still include those core things that he has started with us, which is local in-town talent and showcasing local in-town talent, and then also talking about and going to music events within the area, as well as we still do cruises and things of that nature.
So do you all have what's you all's website? Let's talk a little bit about that.
The website is www.doveproductionsllc.com.
When you said Dove Production, why you look over here?
No.
You see that? That's not right.
No, I'm with you. DoveProductionsLLC.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a current calendar of events, and that lets you know all of the different services that we offer, as well as, you know, all of our events that we have going on. And kind of interesting, we started back in the day at the Grand Ballroom with New Year's Eve. This year, we're going to be reinstating the New Year's Eve party. So that's going to be one of our next events that we're having. We're actually going down to St. Louis for the Bears game. And so, but we'll also be...
Wow, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. So you all get every a bus load, or how does that work?
We do more than a bus load.
That's got to be hard to put a lot of people together.
Oh, it's work, you know. But it's
and so, how many trips a year you all do?
Well, right now we have, we do about 2 big trips, and then we're kind of growing that. So we're looking at some different things, but we usually do the Cincinnati Music Festival. That's one of our largest events.
That's huge.
And we've been working we've been going to that for well over 10, 12 years. All of the different iterations. It used to be called the Cincinnati Jazz Fest. So we've been kind of doing that for a long time. We also, again, like I said, we do sporting events. So we would do Bears games, we would do Bulls games. And so those are the different kind of travel events that we do. And as we've taken trips and buses of people up to New York for different Broadway plays, from When the Color Purple and other things were out. We did a number of those kind of shows.
So how do you all come up with the idea of what trip or what sports game to go to?
It's all about what people want to do.
Yeah, you look at it.
We put a survey out there, and we ask people what they want to do, and we try to put it together and make it happen. Like we get a big following. People say they want to go to the Mardi Gras, we'll go to the Mardi Gras. You know, people say they want to go to New York, we'll go to New York. You know, so
this is something that your father started.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Is it hard to work behind him with dealing with so many people?
Well, we are proud to say he did it by himself.
Yeah,
and
single-handedly
single-handedly did this,
Single.
and it takes all 4 of us to make it happen. Because it is so, you know, such a challenge in a lot of different ways, but it's also because he had such a passion and love for it that for us, you know, we want to make sure we do it right, and we want to have to divide and conquer. So we all have our areas of focus that we work on to make it all happen.
Okay, because you all seem so calm, and it's just like working with a bunch of people. Is somebody gonna say no, I don't want that? How do you all solve those problems?
You get that. But that's the joy of working with people, though.
Yeah, you gotta deal with people and people attitudes, and you just deal with it. And we got calm demeanors, and we were taught that, you know. So. And it works out.
And the goal is we're in the business of entertainment, so we want everyone to have a good time. You know, so it is about whatever we can do to make sure our customers are having a good time. That's what we're going to do to make that happen. That is the goal. Otherwise, we failed our mission.
I love it. I love it. And what's the website again?
www.doveproductionsllc.com.
All right. So now, what other things that you all do far as party planning? Do you all do party planning?
Event planning.
Event planning, and how does that work now?
Yeah, that's another area we branched off into. We can set up events for you. You know, that's one of our newest areas. We do event planning. If you know, we could set up your birthday party or, you know, your weddings. But that's what our new thing is too. So. Okay,
so the 4 of you all sit down. See, I'm about to get you right here. The 4 of y'all sit down and say, somebody wants a wedding, so how you all sit down and come together? Or you have to bring some more people on
Well, I mean, it starts with the customer. You know, it starts with what the customer wants, and they kind of let us know what it is that they're looking for. So if they're looking for, you know, we have a form that we want you to fill out to say, hey, I'm trying to do a party, so if you want to do a family reunion versus a retirement party or something like that, it's very different. So based on what the customer is looking for, we'll figure out who we need to pull in, because we have a lot of people that work with us that have expertise in different areas. So, you know, we don't claim to try to know it all. We go and get the help from the people that we know that work with us and have teamed up with us and partnered with us to make it all happen for our customers and clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing, we do have a team of people that work with us. You know, we can't do it all by ourselves, because right now Cincinnati has grown, you know, so massive now. You know, we're up to what, like 14 buses, 15 buses we take.
Wow, are you serious?
It's grown. It's grown from when my dad first started to where it is today.
So when you want to go to something like that, they have to just go to the website. Is it information where they can fill out something, or they just contact?
They can go there and get the information. They can make their payments there. They can do everything.
We set everything up.
They can do everything.
Do you all have an office?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Our office is 500 North Michigan Avenue, Suite 600.
Okay. All right. And the website again?
I can say that. www.doveproductionsllc.com.
All right.
You get
So,
the next one.
so I want to talk about some of the other things. What plans? What are you all's plans to move further in the
keep
future?
growing. Let's grow.
With the growth, we want to grow, but we want to grow in the way that we can manage it. Okay, and we want to make sure it's done right, because quality is about everything. If people are spending their money to have a good time, then we want to make sure they feel like they got way more than what they bargained for. Okay, and that's where it comes in the structure. All of us have different personalities, and we have to put each of one of our personalities into play to structure something that everybody will feel good about.
So who is the cool one out the bunch?
That would
Really?
be Ron.
I'm considered pretty cool now.
Which one is the coolest one out the bunch here?
Depends on what your definition of
Right,
cool
cool.
is.
What do you mean cool, you know?
I don't know. I'm just kind of seeing them laid back. I was checking the pictures out, and so I'm like, okay, this must be the cool one out the bunch.
I bow to that one. But yeah, and that's pretty much what it is. We all have our own distinct parts that we do within our company to make it and push it to where it has to go.
Okay. So how did you all determine, because you all are the owners, but how do you all determine who takes care of what? Because everybody has plays
We
a
have
part
titles.
in this.
Yeah, we got
got
titles, you know. We got titles, you know. Well, I can start.
But who
I'm-
picks? Right,
Well,
right.
we all got together and agreed on what title
Okay.
each one of us will have.
All
And
right,
we
so
all
what's your
said-
title,
I'm the
Chris?
secretary. I'm the secretary. You know, I'm handling customer calls and, you know, a lot of customer service stuff. So pretty much, you know. And we all get together and we have meetings, and we talk about, you know, discuss what we need to do and to get events going, and, you know, what needs to be done financially with the company and everything.
Okay. And then Darren?
I'm the president. And
I should have known. I mean, really, I should have known.
I take care of the back office stuff. So my area is technology. I'm actually a project and program manager, IT project and program manager. So I kind of make sure the website is working, and our niece, Shawanda, is our social media person. So we brought her on, and she actually does all of our social media from Virginia, from the Virginia area. And so our oldest brother, El Warren, he's also our talent manager, because he's a musician. So he works in the talent management side of the fence. And
Yeah, that was my
looks
next
at-
question.
Looks
Yeah.
at all of the different artists that we want to look at, and helps in the booking of the talent and artists that we work with. And Ron, he's logistics and transportation and just all
Cool
around
guy.
sales. You know, Ron, he has all of the connections into the community, and he helps bring in everybody to the organization.
So now, do you all's mom come in and have any say so, or she just like stay
she
out
has
of
a
it?
say so. She has a say so. I mean, but she lets us run it, but she will let us know when she feels that we're.
Oh, she probably say
going
she
in a
probably say
different
Anita
direction.
got it anyway, right? Right. She probably say she can handle it, right?
Right.
Because what does your wife part?
Well, my
does she
wife, Anita Weatherspoon, she's a director with Dove Productions too, you know, so
Yeah,
she
I
plays
tell.
a big
She's
part with us, you know.
on the ball. I love
By the way,
her.
you know, we've been together since '88, so a long time.
Long
So
time.
she's been around the
Wow.
family, you know, from day one.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, and we
That's a
got you
blessing.
know, like we say, we got sweethearts with Dove Productions,
Ruthie
Streeter.
She would kill us if
you
we
know.
didn't give her a shout
Yeah,
out.
Clarence, you know, he's our DJ and also one of our directors, you know. So we got people that play major parts with the company too. You know.
That's good. That's good. I think we had a picture of you all's group.
Oh, yeah.
At least a part of some of them at one of you all's. Yeah, right here. Now, was this one of you all's?
Yeah, that was a Valentine's Day event.
Wow, you all do Valentine's Day
we
too?
do, yeah, we do
Got to tell
Valentine's
you.
Day, we do Mother's Day, we do New Year's Eve, yeah. So we're making things happen.
So what you do for Valentine's Day? Well, I'm interested because I need somewhere to go. I never have anywhere to go. Really?
You need to get on the mailing list first of all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that fast.
Yeah.
What's up with Valentine's Day? I never have anywhere to go.
We put it on Facebook too, you know. So.
Oh my goodness.
It's a party. We try to have live entertainment as well as DJ, and it's a Valentine's Day dance. So it isn't nothing that you just sit down and watch. You sit down, watch, and then we get the crowd interacted in it and they get on stage, and it's a dance.
Wow.
It's a good
So
time.
see, I like to step. So what y'all got going on for the stepping?
We do all of stepping parties, house music, house parties.
Yeah. We mix it up.
I'm a house head, so
Okay. Okay, so now you all have to promise me, you all's next event, sometime 16, that I love the Isleys.
Oh.
Can we work on that?
We can work on that.
Isley.
And I'm not the only person, I'm sure, around I'm not going to tell my age, but, that'll be a real nice concert.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm giving you all
That's
some
something to look
ideas.
into.
Y'all might have to give me a job. However, what's the website again?
www.doveproductionsllc.com.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit. We're going to go to commercial break, but I want to talk a little bit about what are you all's future plans for Dove
You got it.
Productions. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your pet shop.
Good. Homemade noodles. Oh. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It reminds me, I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one, it's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes in your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think then? Arm or the butt?
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our house watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
That's low and below.
Thank you, dear. Oh, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Welcome back to Full Circle. I hope you all are really enjoying the show today because I've been sitting here with the owners of
Dove Productions.
All right. I'm going to make singers out of you after all. Welcome back. And before we went to commercial break, we was talking about titles, and we didn't actually get a chance to ask Ron his title.
I'm the treasurer of Dove Productions.
Oh, that's right. I said the cool man. So again, let's talk a little bit about you all's upcoming events. What can we expect? Because we only have a short time left. I've been enjoying myself with you all.
Okay,
so,
well, basically we have, the football game coming up, the Bears versus the St. Louis Rams in St. Louis. And officially we are sold out,
Okay.
so. But, our next event after that will be New Year's Eve. That's we got a New Year's Eve party.
It's a full dinner and dance. So it's going to be at the Hickory Hills Country Club. So it's a great, fantastic location. So come on out, enjoy New Year's Eve, bring in the new year.
It's where again?
The Hickory Hills Country Club.
It's at the Chateau.
Okay.
The Chateau Del Mar.
Yeah, Chateau Del Mar,
nice.
Hickory Hills Country Club.
Yeah, it's real nice.
So that's where we'll be there for New Year's Eve. And those are the next two events. And then the next one following that, we're going to see if we're going to be doing Valentine's Day this year as well. So we're in the works of trying to finalize.
Okay, I'm going to have to keep up with the Valentine's.
Let you know about that.
Right, yeah, you all might have to call me personally. Say, hey, Queen, it's coming up. You said you don't have nowhere to go. So, and what's the website again?
Ronnie, you want to say it this time? Go ahead.
www.doveproductionsllc.com.
Okay, and so who wants to say something special to your mom? Because I know she's watching.
I'll just let her know we love you.
We love her.
Oh, that's so
you're the
sweet.
queen to host, but she's our queen.
That she is. Look what I dug up. I think I've picked out some good ones. I love that one of you all.
That was actually just taken last week, like a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that's good. You all continue to spend time and stay blessed. And I want to thank you all so much for taking out time, coming, even though we started off late. But I want to let you all know I appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much
for having us. We appreciate you.
We really appreciate it.
All right. And you all know my motto. I hope you all enjoyed the show. You all know my motto. Same time, same place, right here next week. Peace, and we out of here. Doo, doo.